biggest reason is to give you an opportunity to meet potential clients. So notice I don't say potential buyers, because not just buyers are walking into your open houses. In fact, most often you're gonna get those nosy neighbors, right? You're gonna get people who walk in and say, oh, I just live down the street, I just wanted to check it out. And those are potential opportunities for you to get those clients as sellers. Welcome back to Build Your Business with Brittany, the real estate agent training series where we turn hustle into closings and knowledge into confidence. I'm Brittany Handura, real estate agent, coach, and investor, and I'm here to make real estate easy for you. I want to help you build a business you love and a life you're proud of. Let's dive in and level up your real estate game starting now. Open house facts. Some facts about open houses. So what is the purpose of an open house? Number one, the main purpose is to expose the home to more buyers. But as we know, if you're not the listing agent for that home, you don't really care about that as much. The listing agent cares about exposing it to more buyers. But you as an agent can hold an open house for anybody, as long as obviously you get permission from that listing agent. But you can reach out to listing agents and ask them to host their open house. And so at that point, you are not trying to expose that home to more buyers. The listing agent is trying to expose the home to more buyers. But that is one of the purposes of open houses. This is why we would hold it, to say, let's get as many eyeballs as we can onto this property. And then number two, the biggest reason is to give you an opportunity to meet potential clients. So notice I don't say potential buyers, because not just buyers are walking into your open houses. In fact, most often you're gonna get those nosy neighbors, right? You're gonna get people who walk in and say, oh, I just live down the street, I just wanted to check it out. And those are potential opportunities for you to get those clients as sellers. Because as you'll see, lots of sellers start thinking about buying when there are houses that start selling around them. Or lots of sellers. Is that what I said? I don't know. Need more coffee. All right. Repeat buyers are more likely to find their house at an open house than first-time buyers. So this is an NAR statistic, and I believe that the reason for that is when you have a first-time buyer, there's a lot more prep that needs to go into that. They're saving for a long time, they're making sure they have enough money to buy, they're working with a lender, all of that kind of stuff. So they already have probably an agent in place, and their agent is able to take them and give them private showings and that kind of thing. But a repeat buyer, somebody who already has a house, they don't necessarily have to plan for as long. Their runway is shorter because they don't have to worry about saving up and talking to the lender and all of that. They probably have enough equity in their house that if they decided to make a move, they would be able to sell their house and make a move fairly easily. Of course, they would eventually probably have to talk to a lender, but they don't have to spend all that time like a first-time home buyer does. So in that way, it makes sense to me that people would be wandering around thinking about, okay, let's just go into this house and check it out. And then they say, oh, I really like this. Now what do we need to do to start selling? Even if they start thinking about even if they can't get that house, it might open up their mind to, okay, we really do want a house with a bigger backyard, or we really do want a house with more bedrooms or whatever. So that's my reasoning to why repeat buyers are more likely to find their house at an open house than first-time buyers. The nice thing about this for you as the agent is that repeat buyers are a little easier to work with because they've been around the block before, they've done it a time or two. Not that they know everything, they might think they do, but they don't. But first-time buyers are a little trickier usually. There's a little more trepidation, they have to go through more hoops sometimes if they don't have tons of money, like cash laying around. They might have to go through first-time home buyer programs, which are a little trickier to get offers accepted and that kind of thing. That's a story for another time, but repeat buyers are a little bit, in general, easier to work with. So let's talk about the process of an open house. This is just gonna be kind of an overview of start to finish, what do we do when we start thinking, I wanna host an open house? We've heard the stats, we know the numbers, open houses are where we need to be, so yes, I'm gonna do it. But as a brand new agent, I don't have a listing of my own. So how do I do this? So we're going to come from the example of you don't have a listing. You're trying to get a listing from another agent, and we're going to talk through what the process would be. Now, this is kind of a longer drawn out form of that open house roadmap that I have for you. So just email me and I will get you that open house roadmap. But this is basically, we're going to talk through it. So first off, on Monday, you're going to schedule your open house. We're going to assume that we're scheduling it for Saturday. So it gives us almost a week, 5 days-ish, to be able to schedule that open house. So if we schedule the open house on Monday, we have to think through a couple of things. It's not as easy as saying, if you're the listing agent, you can say, okay, I'm going to schedule it for Saturday, check with the sellers. As long as you're good, that's the end of it. You put it in the MLS and you're done. When you are not the listing agent, you have to get permission from a listing agent. So what you're going to do is you're going to reach out to your listing agents on Monday to try and get that scheduled. So the easiest thing to do, and what I know a lot of brokerages are starting to turn to, is you can only hold open houses for those people within your brokerage. And so the easiest, quickest, most efficient way to do things is to just reach out to the people inside your brokerage. And so one of the reasons why we talk about come in person and meet other people and come to the meetings is because you get to have FaceTime with other agents, listing agents who have listings, and you get to meet them in person. And so when they have a listing that you'd love to hold open, it's much easier to say, hey, I just met with you on Tuesday. I see you have an amazing open house. I'd love to hold it open for you. And they're now understanding, oh, yes, I met this person, as opposed to just sending a text message for somebody that they've never met and saying, hey, I'm a brand new agent. I'd love to hold your open house. They're going to say, no way. So you want to get FaceTime with these agents who are top producers, who have the listings, who will be holding the open houses. Okay, so on Monday, we're still on Monday, schedule the open house. So you're going to do it by reaching out to to agents. Now, the best, easiest way that I think to do it is to just go onto your MLS and search your company listings. And then you can go through the list and say, okay, I want to reach out to this person, this person, this person. We'll talk about how to choose the open house in a few minutes. But in general, I like to be strategic. And so I'll tell you a little bit about what I like to do, and then you can figure out what your plan of action is going to be. All right, so on Monday still, we're going to prepare. So all of this stuff is just going to be preparing, and then we're going to actually print everything and get everything ready the next day. Property landing page. Now, this is not necessary, but this is something that is going to take you to the next level. It's going to show you as an expert. So this is just creating a website for the specific property. It's very easy to do on any CRM. So if you're with KW, you have Command, you go into your websites and you create, it actually says property landing page. I've done tutorials on this before. We just had Candace in a couple weeks ago. Go on to my YouTube channel. You will find how to do a property landing page. It's very easy. And if you're not with KW, any other CRM is going to have some type of property landing page that is probably fairly quick and easy to do. But what you end up with is a website that is specifically dedicated to this property, and it's all branded with your name and your information. So they'll go on, they'll see all of the pictures and images, all of the information pulled from the MLS, and then at the bottom there's a place that they can request more information. So oftentimes what I'll do is I'll create a flyer with a QR code, and I'll direct that QR code to the landing page. Or if you don't want to do that, you can go onto social media and say, hey, I'm going to be having an open house this weekend, and you post it to your story if it's on Instagram, and then you can add a link there, and it adds a link back to the landing page. So there are lots of ways that you can do this. It's totally free, and again, it levels you up. It makes you look a little more polished and like a professional. It's a very easy way to do that. So I highly recommend create your property landing page. The first couple of times you might stumble through it. It might be a little more of a challenge, but once you get it, I can create a property landing page in about 3 minutes. So you will be able to do it, I promise you. Then we're going to do our workflow. So for KW and Command, that's called our smart plans. For a lot of other, wherever you're using, you're going to use your workflow, your smart plans. You're going to create a system to be able to have your follow-up. Remember, the fortune is in the follow-up. So you have to make sure that you have this workflow set up ahead of time to remind you to follow up. So what is going to be included in this is going to be, maybe you want to send an automated text of thanks for coming to my open house. Maybe you want to send an email that says, hey, thanks for coming to the open house. If that one wasn't for you, here's a list of other homes in the area. And then it just sets them up on whatever kind of smart plans you want them to be set up on. If you go to KW Smart Plans, if you go to the smart plan library, there are tons of smart plans for you to choose, and just say open house follow-up, and you'll be able to create a smart plan from there. I highly recommend that you edit it to be your voice and you speaking, because you don't want just like a generic, here you go, some random bot is texting you. You don't want that. So you can choose whether you want it to be fully automated, or if you want to have reminders where you actually call them and follow up, whatever that is, which I do highly recommend, because part of the benefit of an open house is that you have that FaceTime. Different from doing like a paid ad where they're just seeing the house and they're like, oh yeah, I like that house. And then you're calling them up, you're trying to build that rapport. When they come into an open house, hopefully you've already built that rapport. So you want to be able to follow up with them and call them and say, hey, remember me? We met at the open house, because you want to just build off of that rapport. A social media ad. So this is definitely something that you can do. You don't have to do. I like to do this because when you put a social media ad, and I'm specifically talking about a paid ad. So if you go, and again, we're not going to dive into this today, but I do have videos about how to create paid ads in Command. You can do it directly through Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever you want to do. But that's not what we're talking about today. I'm just telling you to do it. But your social ad, this is the paid ad that you want to do. Remember, we're still on Monday. All of this you're going to be doing on Monday. Yes. So your social ad takes at least 24 hours to get approved. So you want to put it through quickly so that you can get it to the broadest audience. Why I like to do specifically open house paid ads is because when you put, first off, a listing is always the best paid ad. You're always going to get the highest, not turnover, what's the word? Clicks? Views, yeah. Yes, it's going to be the most successful when you are pushing it to a listing, as opposed to saying like, hey, I have buyers, or anything like that. So if you're doing a listing, a lot of times a lead is going to click on it, you're going to call them to follow up, and they're going to say, oh no, I just was clicking, and then the conversation kind of fizzles out. But if you do it linked to an open house, you can say, oh, no problem. We have the open house on Saturday from noon to 3. Feel free to come. This is what we're going to have there. I would love to meet you. And then there's a way to give them a next step. And hopefully if they come, because it's an easy open invitation, if they do come, now that's just one added level of rapport that you're able to build. So the social ad is really important because it starts building that rapport early on. And to me, it's just an easy touch. So I like this one. I like doing a social ad, and I definitely recommend doing it. Then creating your flyers. So you're creating your flyers, and you can do this in many ways. You can do it on Canva. You can connect. I mean, you can do this from the MLS, from Canva, from I know Command Designs has them. You can do whatever you want. I would say the easiest one to do is from the MLS, but that is my least favorite because I don't like how it looks. I don't like how it comes out. I just think that it's not, we want to present ourselves as more professional and polished, and I don't think the MLS will represent you in that way. But that's why I say start your flyers on Monday. Create them on Monday. Once you have your template in place, it's pretty quick and easy to do this. So start it on Monday. Before we continue, I want to remind you that if you're looking for even more real estate resources like an open house roadmap or a social media content calendar, then click the freebie link below because I have all kinds of resources to make real estate easy for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And now let's jump back in. Now we're on Tuesday. We're on the next day. And now is when you start thinking about who will I bring? So we're going to dive into who you're going to bring, but it's important to think about this not just from a safety perspective, but also from maybe a business perspective. My thought on open houses is you are telling the world, I'm going to be in this place all by myself from this time to this time. Here's the exact address. Come hunt me down. So I always like to have somebody prepared to come, whether that's them just coming and checking on me or whether that's just them being with me the whole time. Now, what I will say is I do not recommend this being another agent because this is your business opportunity to get these clients. And so if you bring another agent in, you're going to have to work out some kind of deal with them. And pretty much in general, that's your business cut in half, at least. So to me, I say, don't do it with another agent. Some people like to do it, and I say, good, this is not how I do it. But you could bring lenders, you could bring other people who might want to help you with that. I've brought my wife a lot of times because she speaks Spanish, so there's a whole new level of people I can talk to, and it's so nice because sadly I do not speak Spanish. And so you just want to be strategic about who you bring. And if you can't get anybody to come with you, just have somebody check up on you just for the safety aspect of it. Then we're going to post on our social media. So this is not a paid ad. This is just posting to your SOI essentially, saying, come check out my open house on Saturday. The beauty of this is that this is a touch point for your SOI. And remember that your SOI, the general public, has no idea how real estate works. They do not know that just because you're hosting an open house for $1 million home, they think that's your listing. They don't know that that's not your listing. And they say, oh, wow, she's doing great. I want to work with her. She must be killing it. So we want to make sure we are showing that we're working. This is one of the reasons I say, even if you have 0 people coming to your open house, it's still a success because we have the power of social media, because we're able to say, come check out my open house. Look at my open house. It was so great. We loved it. This house is amazing. Check out this pool. Look at this view. It's such a nice day. Literally, if 0 people come, nobody needs to know that. They just see she's working and she's killing it. That's what you want people to see. So you want to post about this on your social media. So on your social media, so the question is, you have to be transparent about it not being your listing. And yes, you do want to make sure that you're saying listing courtesy of whoever it is. But you can put that, I mean, if you advertise all kinds of homes, you put that everywhere, the general public does not know. They don't know what that means. I think they think it's like a co-listing, and also they don't know what that means. So yes, you do want to say listing courtesy of whoever it is, and then you're good to go. All right, so now, oh, yes.
I have a question.
Yes. Yes, okay, so the question is, how does it work to show a home that you're not the agent for? So when you hold an open house, you're doing it for free. The benefit to you is that you have all these people who walk in as potential clients for you. The benefit to the agent, the listing agent, is that their home is exposed to more buyers. So that is why it's mutually beneficial, and a lot of people do this because a high-producing listing agent, they might not want to hold open houses. They might not be able to hold open houses. They might be in Cancun and they can't hold the open house. So there are a lot of agents who are gonna say, yes, I want somebody else to hold this open house. And if you become that agent of choice, they're gonna start calling you. And they're gonna say, I have an open house, do you wanna hold it? And so that's the benefit of doing this and getting in with these people, because otherwise there is no monetary, like direct monetary benefit. It's all about the potential. But when you hold an open house, you also have the potential to door knock, and we'll talk about that, to door knock around the neighborhood and say, hey, I'm hosting an open house. We'd love to have you. Come on down, bring the kids, you know, whatever. So on Thursday, now we're skipping ahead to Thursday, we're gonna pick up our open house signs. And I say pick them up because you just wanna prepare them for yourself. If you don't have any open house signs yet, chances are your brokerage does. And so you're able to walk into your brokerage and reserve them and then pick them up and hold your open house and then come back and drop them off. So it's nice because you don't have to worry about storing them. You don't have to worry about having them. And then as you have more clients and more business, that is something that you're going to want to buy for yourself so that you're branding yourself in that area. People, I'm sure you guys have seen open house signs around the area and you say, hey, I know that person, I know that person, I know that person. That's what you want. You want people to start seeing your signs and say, hey, I know that person. So eventually, yes, buy your open house signs. In the beginning, your brokerage will have some signs. So pick them up on Thursday. Then we want to, yes, on the signs. Yeah. Yes, so even if it's not your listing, you're putting out your own signs, your own flyers, that's the beauty of the open houses, is that you're the one who's being branded. You're the one who's getting that name recognition out there. And so like in the yard, on the yard sign, that's still gonna be the listing agents. Yeah. I mean, unless you ask them if you can put your sign up and they agree, I guess. But in general, that's still the listing agent sign. But then you're able to put all of your open house signs up and everything that's branded to you. All right, so on Thursday, we're printing out our sign-in sheet. We're gonna talk in a second about how you can do digital, and I do digital, but I still always have a printed out sign-in sheet because things always go wrong. Technology always fails when you need it. And so you want to have a printed out sign-in out sheet. Then on Friday, we're going to be door knocking and inviting the neighbors. So this is now the day before the open house. We want to go around and we want to invite the neighbors. That's a huge opportunity, and one of the best reasons to host an open house is to be able to go door knock. Now you can do a door drop where you just drop off the flyer. That's perfectly fine if that's what you want to do and just talk to the people who are out and about. Totally fine. That's actually what I do because I don't like to go and knock on doors because I hate when people come and knock on my door. So I don't like to do that to other people. But there are plenty of agents where that is the backbone of their business. They go and knock on doors 3 times a week and they get business from that. So I'm not knocking it, pun intended, but I'm not knocking it, if you know what I mean. Okay, so on Saturday, now we've come to finally the day of the open house. We're gonna hold the open house, dun, 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 dun. Then we are going to add any potential clients to our database, to our command. Now, if you have them sign in digitally, it's gonna go directly to your command. It's gonna go directly to your CRM. So that's one of the benefits of doing it, is that you don't have to worry about like the chicken scratch that they write down. What did they say? Is that donaldduck@gmail.com? You don't have to worry about that. You got their, hopefully, real information, and we'll talk about how to get their real information. And then we're gonna follow up. The fortune is in the follow-up. This is where the money is made in open houses. You're gonna add all your clients to a workflow. And again, if you're using Command or really any CRM is gonna have this kind of thing, whereas as soon as they come in from this open house, it's going to be able to send them, like to automatically attach a smart plan. And it's gonna start as soon as they put their information in. You don't have to do anything. You have to set up the smart plan, which is why we did that on Monday, I think. All right, then we're gonna be sure to address any questions. This is, again, one of the key factors to holding open houses, is that you have the opportunity to reach back out. That's something that I love. When somebody comes and asks me a question that I don't know the answer to, I love telling them, oh, you know what? I'm not sure about that, but let me get back to you. And then, of course, you have to get back to them. If you tell them I'm gonna do this, you have to make sure that you are addressing the question that they asked. But that's a great way for you to show your professionalism, again, for you to show I do what I say I'm gonna do. And so you want to make sure that you are addressing any questions that they have. And then follow through with all your workflow tasks. So if you get a reminder to call, call. If you get a reminder to text, text. If you have something that goes out via the MLS or creating a drip or something like that, do what you have tasked yourself to do. And then you're going to be able to convert some of these leads. I hope that helped. And don't forget, we're here live every Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Join me live to get your questions answered in real time by registering at the link in the description below. Let's keep building, growing, and closing those deals. And don't forget to like and subscribe and share this with another agent who needs this. You've got this and I've got you. And I'll see you in the next video.